do on Twitter and YouTube. Here it's called Shantae's Analysis. You could look under my Twitter. I do it live every night at 10:30 p.m., but I'm starting to do it once a week because school has been kicking my tail. And so here we are. I'm going to start with the coronavirus first. As you know, we're still in the midst of a pandemic, right? For the whole here. Globally, we're at 32 million. Hello. 32,471,119 cases of COVID around the world. That's 188. Someone said 187. I think it switched back to 188. So that's where we are. 32 mil. 32.4 mil around the world. Our death toll around the world is 987,593. We're close to that million mark threshold. That's where we are. The U.S. Cases are at 7,032,524 cases of COVID. Our death toll is at 203,657. In other countries, you have India at 5.8, Brazil at 5.6, you have Russia at 1.3, you have Colombia at 798,317, Peru at 794,584, Mexico at 720,858, and Spain 760,481. And Argentina has skipped over South Africa has 691,235. But on to the cases that's here at home in the U.S. We have California at 805,666, Texas at 671,388, Florida 695,879, and of course DeSantis wants to go on phase 3. Nah, I'm good. I like to do my videos solo dolo, but thank you. New York, which was once the epicenter of all of this, is at 458,466. Georgia is at 296,089. Illinois is 287,347. Arizona 216,367. New Jersey 203,891. North Carolina 199,326. And Tennessee rounds up that top 10 with 186,769. So that is where we are. And yet we have no plan. And Trump is still holding super spreader rallies of coronavirus. He held one today, I believe, in Virginia. And keep in mind, the state of Virginia wrote him a letter saying, do not hold these rallies. The governor of Virginia and his wife were tested positive for coronavirus. Yeah. But of course, Trump don't give a shit. He don't give a damn. Don't give a rat's ass. So that's where we are. With the whole Trump versus Biden thing, y'all know that Trump came out with his phony ass plan. So I'm just going to pull it up and read it. I didn't get the chance to read it, but I heard some of it on a different live and said the same things that I've been saying for quite a while now. Where's this phony ass plan at? Can't see it. Okay. So, according to NPR.org, Trump promises black voters a platinum plan for loans as he bashes Biden, of course. Hello. Donald Trump learned into his economic record Friday as he attempted to attract black voters with a pledge to try to secure more lending for black business owners. I mean, he had 3 years to do that. He couldn't even did that 6 months ago, and he didn't. Trump unveiled what is called the Platinum Plan for Black economic empowerment at a campaign rally event at Atlanta. But during a wide-ranging remarks, he spent time telling people why they shouldn't vote for Biden and then describing his campaign pitch to African Americans. I believe Joe Biden's pitch to African Americans is a little bit more authentic than Donald Trump's. I mean, according to a person that had experiences with Donald Trump, I lived here. I'm born and raised in New York, and I never saw Donald Trump come to my neighborhood. Ever. Like, literally, never, ever saw that man come into my neighborhood. He said no one in politics today has done more to hurt black community than Joe Biden. Okay, Joe Biden had the crime bill. We all know the infamous crime bill. But there were black people behind that crime bill. There were some activists behind it, and there were congressional folks, including Bernie Sanders. You can never leave that out. Donald Trump has not done shit for black people. I live here all my life. I never saw that man walk uptown in Harlem. I never saw that man go to the Bronx. I never saw that man go to Brooklyn and black neighborhoods. If we care so much about the black community, why in the 80s you didn't help then Governor Mario Cuomo with the drug crisis? Nothing to say, right? Drugs was running rampant in the 1980s. Who was the president during the crack era? Ronald Reagan. He has not done shit. He's also responsible for the fatalities of the victims of AIDS. And George H.W. Bush didn't really do much neither. You know who began to clean up that mess? Bill Clinton had to clean up 12 years of Republican goddamn shit. And yes, there were some things that Joe Biden has done in his career that was not friends to black Americans, but he paid the price of it. And it's not just only him. There's a couple other white politicians in his circle, including Bernie Sanders. The state of Vermont has one of the third highest incarceration rates in the country. Vermont is very white. How I know? I had to drive through there from Canada to go to Canada. So that's how I know. Listen, whoever don't like this live, that's fine. I'm telling the truth. The only black person I know that was against this crime bill at that time was Al Sharpton. And Al Sharpton was a respected activist here in New York and still is to this day. He's one of the only people that's still living in New York that's still active. Tamika Mallory is up and coming. But it was Al Sharpton who fought for the things up here in New York. So kudos to him. And him and Governor Cuomo actually has a pretty decent relationship. So there you have it. But Donald Trump, on the other hand, never gave a damn about black people. Even when he ran his businesses, his shitty ass businesses, he never fucking cared. Also, he said Joe Biden should not be demanding your support. He's not demanding our support. He's basically asking us to join and to hear the reasons why. Jaron Smith, a White House advisor who spoke to NPR in his personal capacity head over the event, said Trump's goal is to have the federal government invest in institutions that lend to black businesses. Like I said, you had 3 years. You didn't do shit. because I can say here 90% of the small businesses here in New York are mostly owned by African Americans and Latinos, and they're suffering. I know businesses from when I was a kid are closing down. There's certain beauty supply stores gone. Gone, gone, gone. I know a business called Brownstone on the east side of Harlem. I think between Fifth Avenue and Lenox Avenue. I mean, between 125th Street, between Fifth and Madison, is struggling. 99-cent stores owned by blacks and Latinos suffering. So what the fuck is Trump talking about? The campaign said the news release that Trump proposes to increase the lending through community development institutions to aim direct 40 billion in government funds to leverage 10 times the amount through the private sector. That funding will need to be negotiated with Congress. Duh. Congress is the one that does all the allocations, and honestly, they know he's full of shit. And them Democrats are not going to work with him because he backhands his deals like he had done with his businesses in the past. Now he has to end up settling back in the past. I know that. You know how many times Donald Trump has settled in courts? God knows. I can't even count on many hands because it's too many times. And I witnessed that growing up here in New York once again. Today is the historical because for the first time you have a Republican president and a Republican agenda. First and foremost, who had a pretty decent Republican agenda, and I didn't even like him much, was Nixon. The minority-owned businesses started with Nixon. Richard Nixon. Richard Tricky Dick ass Nixon. He was considered to be one of the last slightly liberal Republicans. Of course he did. Of course he did. Trump is a whole ass, bullshit ass liar, racist, a open racist, always been an openly admitted racist. He has pictures with black people. It doesn't matter. You can have a black friend and still be a motherfucking racist. Trump won 8% of the black vote in 2016. Okay, he won a little bit more, but still 8%, that ain't really nothing. His campaign has opened field offices and probably, so it's a lie for votes. That platinum plan is a desperation move. Absolutely, it is. That's what says a lie for votes. And people may not agree with Biden, but if you look at that plan is cohesive. And what have Biden done is combine his plans, Kamala's, Bernie's, because y'all don't know, they still got a task force going on. Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders have a unity task force. So it's some folks from the Bernie camp and then some folks from the Biden camp, along with Kamala and Pete Buttigieg and even some Elizabeth Warren folks in that task force. No one reports it because the media has time and time, the mainstream media in particular, has failed again to report the things. Like they say Kamala Harris is a silent vice president when she's been hosting forums online and going to places. No, the media is so focused on Donald Trump and his bullshit ass platinum plan. He also incorporated to make Juneteenth a federal holiday. Congress is supposed to do that. I know that shit. Like they're supposed to make Election Day a federal holiday. Congress have the power to do that. And there was legislation, I think, before she became the vice presidential nominee, that Kamala Harris has drawn up legislation to do that. So I don't know. This here, as I read it, I get more annoyed as the time goes by because it's bullshit. It's bullshit. And that's that. Like if you are, like I said, if you're from New York City, Northern New Jersey, or even Southern Connecticut, you know the bullshit antics of Donald Trump. That's why our states did not vote for him. Because we know what kind of asshole he has always been. This election is different. You got, even though they're both older men in their 70s, one who was perfectly fit for the position and physically fit in life, and the other is just a dementia style con artist asshole that he is running. I wish the media would stop treating him as a regular resident, because he's not. With Biden, you could treat him as such because Joe Biden has been the former vice president. And honestly, today, I think he was a damn good vice president to Barack Obama. Like a damn good vice president to Barack Obama. Like he never disrespected that man. He never tried to overperform his job, try to outshine President Obama. No, he never did that. He always respected him for who he was. They may have debates as in terms of, you know, when they were both running for president in the same year. But at the same time, when he was chosen as his vice president, it was like all guns hold. We're going to go back that man. Hillary Clinton, y'all may want to talk shit about her. As soon as she dropped out the race, you know what she did? She threw all her support to President Obama. Literally. I said, I used to see Trump on the news back in the 90s. Same here. Oh my God, Mars. Same here. Like I told my mom, like I remember watching Channel 11 News when Channel 11 News was great. And UPN. Not really Fox 5 News, but normally Channel 11 News I normally watch because that was the best. Yes, and talking to people that he don't even like. Joe Biden is talking to people that detest his ass. That takes a lot of strength. That's the patience of Job, as they say in the Bible. Because I don't have it. I'm letting you know right now. Oh, I don't got no patience for you. That's why I be telling people this live ain't for you and if you being stupid. Like Joe Biden is talking to everybody from different ideological views. He taking all their views and combining into one. I feel like the Biden and Harris cabinet is going to be the most progressive and the most diverse cabinet. It's almost going to be similar to the Obama years. Just a little bit more progressive. Just a little bit. People say, well, President Obama can serve as the advisor. President Obama do not want to serve nobody's advisor. I told my father, like, no. President Obama is chilling. That man is about to be 60 years old next year. You don't want to be... No. He is enjoying his life. The Obama Foundation is doing just fine. So there you have it. Yeah, patience is a virtue. Patience, But enough on this thing. So Tucker Carlson. Yeah, he is having a good life. Tucker Carlson. Tucker. Tucky. I don't know if that's a word. So Tucker Carlson basically came at some folks regarding folks blasting, folks getting mad about about Daniel Cameron, how we all slandering him and shit. Yeah, I really don't listen to him because I really don't like his ass neither. And according to Mediaite, Fox News Tucker Carlson rail against black and MSNBC pundits, basically Joy Reid and Dr. Jason Johnson, and shows that accusing them of attacking the Republican Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron as a race traitor. I mean, everybody saw that. Did y'all see that press conference? Following his announcement about the lack of indictments for the killing of Breonna Taylor. Well, it's nothing else that shows that the real life more complicated than a straightforward black and white race war the media is always promoting. No, Tucker, you promote race wars. You talk shit about immigrants all fucking day long on your show. Yet they turn over the airways to talking heads who describe the African American Attorney General as a race traitor for disagreeing with them. Even people in the Republican Party, black Republicans, are pissed off with Daniel Cameron. They want to kick his ass. Michael Steele, traditional Republican. I'm pretty sure Tara Setmeyer, Shamichael Singleton, who was a Republican, and Sophia A. Nelson, who was a Republican, and Ana Navarro, who was a Latina Republican. They ain't like that shit. He said Carlson then aired snippets of MSNBC Joy Reid as well as other guests who are competing on the competing cable network railing against Cameron. One clip played by MSNBC contributor Jason Justice said, "I'm so disgusted by this. I'm so disgusted by Daniel Cameron's performance. I'm so sick and tired of black people going on the air and performing for violence and white supremacy and state-sponsored black violence against black people and claiming their mamas and claiming that because a black man, they care about it." I'm with Jason on that. I agree with Jason. I was pissed off too. Every American, no matter what your race was, everybody was pissed. I talked to young black people, young Latinas, even young white people. They're angry about the ruling. They're angry at Daniel Cameron. He needs to be voted out. When his election year comes up, I think it comes up in 2024. Because they say he got like 6 years as an AG. So his years are coming up soon. Trust me, his ass will be out of a job behind this shit. The highly rated Fox News host then continued by furthering ripping into his former employer, that's NBC, by airing a commentator stating that the network should be ashamed of themselves. No, they should not be ashamed of themselves. Let me just play the clip for you guys for Daniel Cameron, just in case, just to enlighten your memory on Mr. Cameron.
Example of the black community.
That's not it. I want to see the other one.
Potential violations of federal law. I know that not everyone will be satisfied with the charges we've reported today. My team set out to investigate the circumstances surrounding Ms. Taylor's death. We did it with a singular goal in mind, pursuing the truth. Kentuckians deserve no less. The city of Louisville deserves no less. Every person has an idea of what they think justice is. My role as special prosecutor in this case is to set aside everything in pursuit of the truth. My job is to present the facts to the grand jury, and the grand jury then applies those facts to the law. If we simply act on emotion or outrage, there is no justice. Mob justice is not justice. Justice sought by violence is not justice. It just becomes revenge. And in our system, criminal justice isn't the quest for revenge. It's the quest for truth, evidence, and facts, and the use of that truth as we fairly apply our laws. Our reaction to the truth today says what kind of society we want to be. Do we really want the truth, or do we want a truth that fits our narrative? Do we want the facts, or are we content to blindly accept our own version of events? We as a community must make this decision. I understand that Miss Breonna Taylor's death.
Mob justice is not justice. Like, that's a Trump Republican talking point. That's a far right talking point. And I believe he is supposed to be with Mitch McConnell's daughter, granddaughter. I don't know. She has some relation to Mitch McConnell. Trust me, that clip is going to get played tomorrow because Tiffany Cross is hosting AM Joy tomorrow. And I'm assuming she's going to get in that ass. And guess what? I'm here for it. Because Daniel Cameron should be fucking ashamed of himself. I don't care what your, like I said, I don't care what your party lines is or your partisan politics. Decency, being a decent human being matters. Being the man of the law like you said you are matters. As a black man, you should be protecting us. Not the damn cops. You sound like a whole ass Bull Connor, George Wallace, and Willie Lynch all in one little guy named Daniel Cameron. Mr. Ashy Daniel Cameron. Your face looked a little ashy that day. It didn't look moisturized, brother. Trying to give your ass a benefit of a doubt. People gave your ass the benefit of a doubt, and once again, you done fucked up. So now you got black people, Hispanics, and even Asians and white people, and you got us all fucked up now. We fucked up. We're dealing with 5 crises, I say, all the goddamn time. Global pandemic, constitutional crisis, economic crisis, climate change, racial reckoning. We got all of that going on. And yes, he's married to a different community. Same as Kamala Harris, but the difference between, she was actually a good AG. You may not agree with she was a good AG. And in New York, we got a great AG. We got an awesome ass AG. But Tish James was even upset with this fucking ruling. She's like, what? Everybody who was attorney general or is an attorney general is not happy with Daniel Cameron's decision. You basically said to Kentuckians, especially black ones, fuck you. That's what you basically fucking said. So now, motherfucker, you under a microscope, a hard one. And I'm going to Google when is his election year because I got this phone in my hand because I am pissed off with this shit. He was born in 1985. So yeah, he's a couple months older than me. I was born in 1986. He assumed office in 2020. So I believe he got like 6 more years to go. He's an inexperienced attorney general. And he's on the short list for being a Supreme Court nominee to replace probably Clarence Thomas. So I'm trying to find out when his term is up because he just got elected in 2019. So Daniel Cameron, how many years the AG serves? Some have a 4-year term. Let's see. 2 consecutive terms. So I think he's up in 2024 or 2022. All I know, Kentuckians, yeah, he's 34. His birthday is late in the year. His birthday is November 22nd. He's about 7 months older than me. Like 7 months, because I'm April 86. He's November 85. So there you have it. And he looked old for almost being, but then again, he does look kind of young and stupid. So there you have it. But I hope Kentuckians vote that ass out. But on to something else. So, Amy Coney Barrett, who sits on the United States Appeals 7th Circuit Court, is being considered to replace the great Brooklynite RBG. He's 2 years younger than my son. Oh, wow. Oh, so your son is around my sister's age, who was almost 30. Well, my sister's almost 37 at the end of the year, so. Yeah, I know. I'm 34. I had my 34th birthday back in April 21st, during the height of the pandemic here in New York. It was crazy. But yeah, I thank you for saying I look young. I thought some people thought I was 18, some people thought I was 21. I was like, I'm 34, guys. No kids? No, I got no kids. I got somebody special I'm talking to. But yeah, other than that, I ain't got no kids. But Amy Coney Barrett, she's, like I said, she's a judge. She was appointed by the Trump administration. So some of her judicial reviews, I'm just going to read it to you off of Wikipedia. I really don't like to read Wikipedia, but I'm too tired to find other sources. Barrett considered herself as an originalist. I'm assuming originalist in that order means she holds interpretations of written of the Constitution that meant those who drafted whatever. Okay. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. She is a constitutional scholar with expertise in statutory interpretation. According to Reuters, described Barrett as a favorite amongst religious conservatives. I mean, her comment about Roe v. versus Wade, I'm about to get into in a minute, and said that she has supported expansion of gun rights and favor one of the Trump's administration anti-immigration policies. She also was Justice Scalia's law clerks. We all know who Justice Scalia was, ultra conservative, appointed by Ronald Reagan back in, I think, 1986, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 1986. 5 months after I was born, he was selected to the courts. She has spoken and written her admiration of the close attention to the text of statutes. She was praised and endearing to originalism. Barrett also wrote a Texas Law Review article on the doctrine of stare decisis, written within listed 7 cases that should be considered supersedents. Let me see what that word means. Okay, I guess there's no definition for that word. Oh, fuck. It's not there. Okay. And cases that the court should never consider overturning. And she put Brown versus Board of Education, which I was shocked. I was like, oh, okay. But she excluded Roe v. versus Wade. In explaining why was not included, Barrett referenced scholarship agreeing that in order to qualify a present, a decision must enjoy widespread support from not only jurists but politicians and the public at large to extent of being immune to reversal of challenge. She argued that people must trust the validity of a ruling to such an extent the matters that have been taken off the court's agenda for lower courts and no longer them taking challenges to them seriously. And when asked during her confirmation hearings about why she didn't include the pro-LGBT cases as super president, Barrett explained that the list contains an article which collected from other scholars and not a product of her own independent analysis on the subject. Sounds like a Scalia conservative to me. Barrett has never really ruled directly on a case pertaining to abortion rights, but did not vote to rehear a successful challenge to Indiana's parental notification law in 2019. In 2018, Barrett voted against striking down another Indiana law requiring burial or cremation of fetal remains. In both cases, Barrett voted with the minority. The Supreme Court later reinstated the fetal remains law in July 2020 in order to a rehearing at the parental notification case. In 2013, and then reflecting on the 40th anniversary of Roe v. Wade, she described the decision in Notre Dame magazine, a paraphrase, creating through judicial fiat a framework of abortion on demand. I don't know what that means, but that's not good. She also remarked that it was very unlikely the court would overturn the core of Roe versus Wade. The fundamental element that the woman has a right to choose abortion will properly stand. The controversy right now is about funding. It is a question of whether abortions will be publicly or privately funded. NPR said that those statements were made before the election of Trump and the changing composition of the Supreme Court to the right subsequent to the election. Hold on for a second. The changing composition of the Supreme Court to the right subsequent to the election. Hold on for a second. So I don't go back and forth with trolls. I don't do that shit. So she got blocked. So back to what I was saying. I said Roe v. Wade. Or Roe versus Wade. And Barrett was critical of Chief Justice's opinion on a 5-4 decision to uphold the constitutional central provision to the Affordable Care Act. And NFIB versus Sebelius. I'm assuming Sebelius is one of the people that was behind the ACA, that wrote the ACA. And Roberts' opinion defended the constitution of the original mandate of the Affordable Care Act by characterizing it as a tax. Barrett approved on the approach, saying Chief Justice Roberts pushed the Affordable Care Act beyond the plausible meaning to save the statute. She criticized the Obama administration for providing employees of religious institutions the option of obtaining birth control, which they strike that shit down. So, should we be surprised that she gets confirmed by the Senate? Not really. This is someone like Ted Cruz will pick, like um Mike Lee. Lindsey Graham will do anything that he will say. Mitch McConnell. Who else? John Cornyn. Rob Portman. James Langford. The little new guy from Missouri. What's his name? Josh Harley. All of those motherfuckers. Senator Caputo. Huh? Joni Ernst. Even Mitt Romney, like I said, trust no Republican. And I don't trust Susan Rice neither. Oh my God, she's so good. I just had to vote for her. Shaking that, tilting that head and shit. Yeah. And I appreciate Lift Every Voice for you defending me, but I had to block that bitch. Cause like I said, I don't do that arguing back and forth with people. I was ignoring her. I didn't even know she popped up there. So, hope helps. I hope you trolling somebody else's shit. Oh, bonsoir. If that's the right language. Maybe that's Wolof. I'm sorry. From West Africa. I hope everything's good in Ghana. Cases are looking crazy of coronavirus there. But, yeah, Amy Coney Barrett, no. We're like literally this is a constitutional crisis. She is not for abortion, and she's not for the ACA. So that's that. That's why this election is crucial. And Joe Biden wants to put a black woman on there. And honestly, I think it's time to pack those courts. If they're going to do this shit, it's time to pack the courts. They say, what you call it? Hello, from British Columbia. They said that the Schumer said, and he had a press conference, a joint press conference in Brooklyn, in his home borough with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Everything is on the table. I believe when he said that. And he's usually not a confrontational guy, which is good. That's why he's a minority leader. Everyone say he's weak, but you don't need someone that's crazy, because then you don't get shit done. Even though Nancy Pelosi is calm and she gets shit done, she don't give a fuck. But this is exactly why elections matter, because you have 5 crises in one, and a constitutional crisis is nothing we should need at this time. RBG was literally clinging to life, like literally was sticking around, like, because I don't trust this motherfucker, like real ass shit, like don't trust him. But that's where we are. That's where we are. But until then, pay attention. Know what's going on. And as for these quote unquote progressives out here, these chaos agents with this shit, because I meant to address this too, and I think I addressed this in a snippet video, that Cori Bush in particular, saying that we value RBG's life more than we value Breonna Taylor's, comparing that to was straight up stupid. Like, Breonna Taylor's life, we know that shit matters. We're upset with Daniel Cameron. Why would you say that? And as for RBG was people that actually fought for the shit that we still have to this day. And if RBG was alive still, if that Breonna Taylor case came to the Supreme Court, she would have wrote an amazing dissent and blast Daniel Cameron's ass. And I wouldn't blame her. But until then, folks, we got to vote. Be vigilant, be smart, be informed. Until then, you guys have a great night.